Some mysteries truly feel like a puzzle. Every new fact we uncover is a clue pointing to the next piece. But Sandra Birchmore's mystery keeps dropping bombshells that scramble the puzzle image that we've been building for years. Sandra was 23 years old and 3 months pregnant when she was found dead in her Canton, Massachusetts apartment. That was back in 2021. She was found sitting on the floor. There was a luggage strap around her neck. The other end was tied to a doorknob. So just picture that for a moment. Her death was ruled a suicide, even though plenty of clues showed otherwise, like brand new baby clothes over there on the counter and a fresh load of laundry, over there in the washer dryer. And the list goes on. Her family would later accuse 3 police officers from the neighboring town of Stoughton, Massachusetts, of, quote, grooming Sandra as a teenager, a young one, and sexually abusing her for years. An internal police investigation would come to the same conclusion. Bombshell number 1. Then the feds got involved and ultimately charged one of those Stoughton police officers, Matthew Farwell, with Sandra Birchmore's homicide. Bombshell number 2. Bombshell number 3 was hiding in more than 32,000 text messages that the investigators found between Sandra and the married cop on your screen. Among many other things, those texts revealed that Matthew Farwell took Sandra's virginity when she was just 15 and he was 27, which, in itself is a crime. Later, text messages revealed that Sandra wanted a baby with him and demanded that he impregnate her. And once she was pregnant, she insisted Matthew put his name on the child's birth certificate and be involved in the baby's life. And why might Matthew Farwell push back on any of that? What leverage might Sandra have actually had over him if he did? Matthew Farwell was married, 2 kids of his own, and a 3rd baby on the way from a very pregnant wife of his. From all indications, Farwell was not at all excited about his girlfriend having a baby. Sandra told friends that he'd become violent with her. And then there was that security video showing Matthew Farwell letting himself in and out of Sandra's apartment right before she died. Hoodie up. So this brings me to bombshell number 4. I think that's where I am. The Boston Globe is reporting that new DNA testing shows that Matthew Farwell is not the biological father of Sandra Birchmore's baby. Wow. He, however, was told that he was, right? And Sandra told others that he was. He believed he was, for the most part, till he was arrested and then talked to investigators. So if it's true, Matthew Farwell is not the baby, what does that mean for the case against him? And for that, I turn to one of my own legal dream team members, Alexandra Kazarian. She's a senior trial attorney at Geragos and Geragos and a friend of the show. Okay, file this one, Alexandra, into the file of, I did not see that coming, but I'm really wondering if it matters. Tell me about it.
So that's the question. I mean, he's being charged with the murder of a witness. So what motivation does he have to get rid of her? Well, even if you take the baby out of the picture, exposing their relationship to his wife could be a prosecution theory. Exposing their underage sexcapades could be a theory. There may be a statute of limitations issue there, but I think that there is enough within those 30,000, however many text messages, for the prosecution to at least make an argument that he has a motive to get rid of her so that she won't expose him, whether he is the father or not.
You are a defense attorney, and I would think a good defense attorney would say, let's find out who the baby daddy is, because that's the guy we want to point to in court as the real killer. But, this happened years and years ago. Is there any impetus for the current cops, one of Matthew Farwell's own, to investigate and find the real father?
I don't know, but as a defense attorney, I don't even know if I need to go there, because all we need is reasonable doubt. And if she found out that he was not actually the father, and she found out that she wasn't going to have a supportive person in her life, and that now him finding out perhaps that she actually was impregnated by somebody else might have ruined her entire life. Now I think you have a tragic but potentially plausible story that he didn't do it. And so all I need to tell that jury is that there is a reasonable alternative that makes him not the killer. And if there are two reasonable stories and one points to innocence, there's my reasonable doubt. So even if they don't investigate it, even if they don't find out who the father is, knowing that it's not him makes it a little bit more credible that she may have done this to herself from a defense perspective.
So she's murdered 4 years ago, and it takes quite a long time, a couple of years, to actually arrest Farwell. I would have thought they would have had the DNA on that fetus with the autopsy, like right after her death. So why are we only finding out now about this?
Well, they've had the baby's DNA, but comparing it to his may have been the issue. They may not have had his. They may not have had enough for a warrant to get his. So it may have come down to putting the case together without the DNA before they did that. And maybe, it was a foregone conclusion. And at this point, somebody said, might as well check it to bolster our case. And now look at what happened. It could be that.
Dang. I'm looking forward to this trial for sure. If it goes to trial, I always say. But I can't wait to hear what his defense team has to say. Alexandra, thank you. Good to see you. Have a good weekend.
Always. Thank you. You too.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.